What's up, everyone? Mitchell Saltzman here at Gamescom 2022, and I am here with Choi Ji-won, the director of Lies of P. And the first thing that I have to know, what was it about the story of Pinocchio that made you think, yeah, that seems like a really good setting for a Souls-like?
무기는 두 가지 부위로.
He had to find a very well-known theme first because this is their first Soul-like game, so they wanted to have the fan base first. So that's how they came up with the well-known story first, and then they give their own twist to it, and that's how they picked the Pinocchio. But there were strong two principles when they picked the theme. So first, it shouldn't be dark fantasy, and second, it shouldn't be any Victorian medieval age. So they picked with the Belle Epoque era in France, so 19th century to 20th century. Yeah, that's how they came up with Pinocchio. But also, if you think about Pinocchio, people will think about Disney theme, but that's how Disney made Pinocchio a little childish or like a kid story. But actually, if you come to the original story of Pinocchio, it's pretty dark and for adults. And also, Pinocchio has very diverse backgrounds. Like Pinocchio starts from the house of Geppetto, and then it also goes to ocean. It goes inside of the whale. So that's how they find Pinocchio very attractive for their game theme.
I think when anyone looks at this game, they immediately get the thought of Bloodborne. Is that a comparison that you welcome? How do you react to hearing that, you know, your game makes people think of Bloodborne?
일단 블러드본은 너무나.
Of course, himself is a very big fan of Bloodborne, so he felt honored when someone saying it can be even compared to Bloodborne. He is very welcomed and honored, but also they put very much of effort to make it a difference from Bloodborne.
Just playing the game, I can tell you're obviously a big fan of the Soulsborne genre. What's your favorite?
최근에는 엘든링.
Recently, he enjoyed Elden Ring very, very much.
So one of the aspects of the game that I didn't really get to mess around all that much with in my demo was the weapon modification and the combination of the different weapons. Can you go into a little bit of detail of how that works?
무기는 두 가지 부위로 나뉘고 있어요.
As you saw, it is separated in two parts, which is blades and handle, but it has every blade and every different handle has different feature and weight and ability when you use it as a weapon. So when you find a different type, when you obtain new handle or new blades, you can combine them in a whole new weapon, and you can find the best combination for yourself. And also, like another Soul-like game, when you put so much effort and time to make, or also money to make that weapon more suitable for you, and then you find something else, you have to give up on what you have been spending time on. But this one, even if you have spent time or money on this blade that you really liked and you have different handle, you can just use that with new handle, so you don't have to give up on the time and effort that you put it on.
And then another unique element about Lies of P is the Legion arm system. Excuse me. Can you explain where that idea came from to have these different arms that, you know, all have different abilities, and how does that affect the Souls-like experience in a way that makes Lies of P feel unique?
일단은 무기만 가지고 전투를 할 경우에는.
So they thought just fighting with the weapons would be so simple and plain in this type of genre game. So they were thinking of new idea in a combat system, and they came up with Pinocchio is actually puppet, so is able to change the body part into a weapon. So that's how they came up with the Legion arm, and they also couldn't give up on a visual part. So they wanted to make the arms more attractive and give the users more joy to change it visually. And also, you can of course make the arms stronger, and it will have more dynamical skills in each arms.
Then obviously a big part of the Pinocchio story is lying. Lies is in the name of Lies of P. How does lying impact the actual gameplay of Lies of P?
이야기나 어떤 사건.
So Pinocchio will face so many NPC and question and cast that he has to decide to lie or not, or trust this person or not. So for example, if you see as a user, if you see an NPC and you decide to lie, and depends on your answer, that NPC can be your enemy or someone who can help you. Each user can have a different ending, but it depends on their choice of answer.
And then finally, multiplayer is a big part of any Souls game. We haven't really seen anything with regards to the multiplayer of Lies of P. Is there multiplayer planned, or is this going to be an entirely solo experience?
일단은 저희들이 처음 도전하는 소울라이크 장르.
So since it's their first Soul-like genre game, so they didn't want it to consider the multiplayer because they didn't want to take the joy for the user to challenge themselves for Souls-like genre game. They didn't want it to take that joy away from the user. So, but next time when they have chance, they of course want to consider the double player, multiplayer version as well.
All right, everyone. Well, that is Lies of P. This is my personal game of show from what I've played so far at Gamescom. I had an absolute blast. Thank you so much for showing the game off at Gamescom. And for more Gamescom, keep it right here on IGN. Speaking of that whale, will we see Monstro in Lies of P?
일단은 비밀이지만 최대한 피노키오의 원작에 나오는 캐릭터들이라든지 뭐 장소, 뭐 이야기 같은 것들은 라이즈 오브 P에 담아내려고 되게 많이 노력을 했어요. 자세하게 말씀드릴 수는 없지만 여기까지 말씀드리겠습니다.
This is gonna be so much a spoiler if he opens everything here, but they tried their best to make original factor in the story or the game. Like you can find so many important factor in original story and also the game as well.
또 한 가지 말씀드릴 게 사실 원작에서 고래가 아닙니다. 상어입니다.
And actually, by him, in original story, it's not whale, but it's a shark. So maybe not, you can find something in the game.